Okay, so we should be live again. Whatever the fuck just happened with my computer does not even show up in the report, the error report.
Oh,
So I'm gonna have
great.
to, yeah. Well, whatever locked it up, I'll figure it out later, hopefully. Because
Yep.
that was fucking weird. Like it locked up, and I didn't even realize I was locked up until I went to go. Hey, Despy, you're not moving. I looked back and I'm like, okay, my modem is still going, so I didn't lose internet. And then I went to Alt Tab to close out Discord and reopen it, thinking Discord had locked up. Whole fucking system completely locked up. So
Nice.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is I was like you stopped talking, and I just turned to Ancom, and I'm like, think he froze.
yes, but let me make sure that we're live again. Yes, we're live again. Part 2 after power failure. Yep. Okay. So, where did I leave off?
So we were talking
we're-
about Sardinia.
Yes. At this particular point in time period, Sardinia would have been a major port, not because it was a high point of what later became Italian civilization, but because at this particular time period, Italy is still broken into multiple countries, and that pretty much every port was used because every port had to be maximized within each country because of how closely they were crammed on top of each other. This is long before the Kingdom of Lombardy started to coalesce portions of Italy into a more cohesive unit. I think at the time period that Odysseus would have been traveling by this point, there was 30. I'd have to double check, but I'm pretty sure it was 30 of different kingdoms that existed on the Italian peninsula. So literally every port that could take a ship took ships. And Sardinia, being off of the coast, would have been a highly important one for any ships that were trying to travel long distances for storm harborage. They would have been
It's also
quite
worth
literally
noting.
the first port in a storm. Go on.
It's also worth noting that in this time period, Pope Boniface had just established his own thing for Sardinia.
Oh, what did he do?
Sorry, one sec. Getting a random phone call out of nowhere. Let me just hang up on that shit. I don't know why. Okay. Anyway,
Is
sorry.
your car warranty okay?
Probably more like someone trying to get me or give me a loan, because I get a lot of those calls.
Oh, the calls I've been getting
anyways.
lately is people offering me money for my house. I'm half tempted to take it as soon as they offer me 3 times what it's worth.
So yeah, he established an initiative calling it the Kingdom of Sardinia and Corsica to settle a war of the War of the Sicilian Vespers diplomatically. Whether or not that actually did anything, that's hard to tell. And then a little bit after the poem would have been published, they entered into an alliance with the Kingdom of Arborea.
Oh, okay. So the
yeah,
time period you're talking about is Dante's time, not Ulysses' time.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
Okay, I was like,
I'm sorry. I misunderstood what time period.
Yeah, I was about. Yeah, I was about to say, I didn't know we had a Pope Boniface in 3200 BC. I mean,
fair enough. Yeah.
But at the same time, I was still interested because I'm like, all right, learning something new about the Catholic Church.
It's the 13th Doctor. Okay, they were running out of material.
But it is interesting, and the reason that this would be interesting around Dante's time is in Dante's time, Corsican was damn near a slur. Because one of the primary ways that you will see Corsicans referenced in the 12, 13, and 1400s is the Corsican Corsairs, aka pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Like So it's interesting because it probably was trying to settle something between a Corsican noble and a Sardinian noble, and the Pope did something rather perfunctory and performative, but it's still interesting. And for anybody who's watching who's Corsican, I'm sorry, I don't actually think of that as a slur, or else I wouldn't say it. But at the same time, at this time period, just like in the 1800s, anybody saying American, they would have called us blackbirders, and for good reason. That was the nickname for anybody who held or upheld the aspect of slavery after the UK outlawed it a decade plus before we did. They started pirating any of our slave ships, and those ships were called blackbirders. Anybody who was associated with the slave trade, therefore, got associated with the word blackbirder. Same kind of bullshit. Everybody gets blamed for a few dickheads. Well, I can't say that about America. A lot of dickheads. gotta be fair. Where did I leave off? Yeah, I had left off at roundabout.
Yeah,
yes.
and I and my company.
No. I was making sure that I had it at the right spot because I forgot. Because when you have to unplug your UPS to turn it off, because when you just press the button when it's plugged in, and you press and hold the button, all it does is give you a display because it's a battery backup. It's not meant to be operated like a power strip. Freaks you out, and you lose your place a little bit.
It's all good. I remember remember where we were.
Yeah. I know. I had stopped there for you. I just wanted to make sure I didn't stop one tercet up because Dante had opened, the Miro had opened up back to where it was. I wasn't sure if I had moved it in my clicking while I was frozen.
So where am I stopping?
I mean, technically, I would probably stop at 129 here, just because there's stuff to talk about. But, I mean, if you really wanted to, that's so close to the end, we could read to the end. Okay. We only have like 3 tersets after that.
All right. And then let me pull this over here then. I and my company were so old and slow when at that narrow passage we arrived, where Hercules, his landmarks set as signals, that man no farther onward should adventure. On the right hand behind me left I Seville, and on the other hand already had I left Ceuta. O brothers, who amid 100,000 perils I and come on to the west to this so inconsiderable vigil. Which is remaining of your senses still? Be ye unwilling to deny the knowledge, following the sun of the unpeopled world. Consider ye the seed from which ye sprang. Ye were not made to live like unto brutes, but for pursuit of virtue and of knowledge. So eager did I render my companions with this brief exhortation for the voyage that then I hardly could have held them back. And having turned our stern unto the morning, we of the oars made wings for our mad flight, evermore gaining on the larboard side. I was about to say labored, but no.
It's starboard and larboard used to be the terms for port and starboard.
Already all the stars of the other pole the night beheld, and ours so very low, it did not rise above the ocean floor. 5 times rekindled, and as many quenched, had been the splendor underneath the moon, since we had entered into the deep pass. When there appeared to us a mountain dim from distance, and it seemed to me so high as I never any one beheld. Joyful were we, and soon it turned to weeping, for out of the new land a whirlwind rose, and smote upon the fore part of the ship. 3 times it made her whirl with all the waters. At the 4th time it made the stern uplift, and the prow downward go, as pleased another, until the sea above us closed again.
All right, so outside the starboard and larboard shit, because that is fucking pain in the ass for anybody who doesn't watch a lot of fucking naval crap from old times. Fucking British people. Yeah, we got rid of that a long time ago. Larboard is the old version of port. And let's just say it got confusing. Starboard, larboard. I cannot imagine how many naval fucking battles got fucked up because of them sounding so similar. In the heat of battle, as cannons are going off, hard to starboard. No, why are you turning that way? Like, it would be so easy to confuse starboard and larboard in the middle of a battle.
Especially if you were a pirate. Arg, be hard to starboard. Arg, turn to larboard.
Okay. But
God damn it, Captain! Put your teeth in.
Going back to the first terse that Despy just read, where Hercules his landmark set as signals. What this is talking about used to be known as the Gates of Hercules or the Pillars of Hercules. We now call them the Straits of Gibraltar. That little area between Morocco and Spain are what they are talking about here, because in part of the myth of Hercules, one of the things he did was grab 2 pillars and pull land closer together. And this is where this myth supposedly happened, was at this narrow strait between the African continent and the European continent. It was called that until very recently, i.e. you will still find Pillars of Hercules on charts as recently as 1922. This was a very, very long used name that most people today will have never heard. It is a testament to the particular location in the Mare Nostrum that they are, the Mediterranean. It is also an indication of timing. When this is what he's talking about, my company, we're old and slow. This is talking the end of the journey. At least because of the other references up to this point, I would say that this is an attempted or potentially successful allusion to the end of Odysseus's journey, as it would also be juxtaposed as we are getting near to the end of Dante the character's journey. So Dante, the narrator and author, gives us this double entendre of this intentionality, because even though it's technically only supposed to be 3 days in the passage of hell of Dante from through hell and into purgatory and paradiso, it is also a matter of he says in an earlier canto that time has no meaning, that each second feels like a year and each year a second. I mean, I'm paraphrasing here, but he is trying to say that the concept of time in this otherworldly place of hell is something that is not able to be easily understood or perceived by the people within it. So it seems like he's trying to draw that Dante the character, well, maybe not old, feels old. Like all of this feels like it has taken years, and all the horrors that he has seen up to this point has aged him and given him wisdom. Um, and we see that with the different ways that he refers to Virgil. Yes, he still refers to him as master, but he's more direct, more forceful, less pleading, less supplicant, as he has been. And if you have been following as we've been reading through these cantos, Dante's voice gets more forceful the deeper we go. Yes, he gets more scary, or more scared, I should say. Uh, like he's freaking the fuck out at the shit he's saying. But when he actually questions Virgil, he will be more direct, more forceful in his wording. And I think that's intentional to try and have us, the readers, see this as the mental strain that even this person that he loves and respects, he gets less formal with, less terse with, or more terse with, I should say. Um, to give us that sensation of agonized journey that we should have if we were in Dante's shoes. At least that's how I read it, because like this is also, if you read the Legends of Hercules, this is also the particular thing that Hercules does that the character Hercules says was the most difficult, the most straining, the thing that made him the most weary. And why he cursed his father when he became a god, that his god put him on a little island to continually hold these pillars in place. Just, this is definitely something that Dante would have known about. This is something that we did not lose during all of our burnings and destruction. This is something that had survived in Europe throughout all of that. So I know he had access to it, and I feel fairly confident in saying that is why he is doing this, because otherwise Hercules is a testament of strength in almost every other point where he is talked about in the legend. It is either an extreme point of emotional strength, i.e. going on after Hera makes him murder his own family, or physical strength. Holding the Straits of Gibraltar is the first time he seemed weary and weak. It seems to be that would be intentional. You wouldn't use this particular reference if you weren't trying to draw our attention to that part of the legend and mythology that people in this time period would have known about, because much like the Inferno is meant to be performed, or the comedy is meant to be performed, pretty much all stories that anybody knew were performed, because most people didn't read.
Well, didn't most people couldn't read.
Couldn't, kind of doesn't matter in this particular situation which one it is. They would have seen live performances of this, and therefore, since we have actual records of some of these live mythological performances of the Greek tragedies, and specifically the 12 labors of Hercules, in this time period, this would have been something almost every kid would have known. This would have been performed like, are you fucking kidding me? This is John Cena in the ancient world. This would have been like their fucking bread and butter when they went to the forum. Like, this would have been the story they go to when the story they're trying that's new starts to fail. This would be their backdrop of guaranteed, I'm at least going to make something to eat tonight.
Yeah.
So it would be really, really inconceivable for me that this would not be the intentionality, because this is how almost all of Europe viewed this particular portion of his story. Why would Dante use it differently? And if he is using it differently, where's the context clues to tell us he's using it differently? And I don't see them. Ceuta, I don't remember a lot about. I remember seeing it on a lot of old maps. I don't remember anything about its history, just to be honest with you. And amid the 100,000 perils, this is talking quite literally about the Trojan War, which was the War of 100,000 perils, because it was the largest military force that had ever been raised on the earth at that point in time. And it is estimated that there were 50,000 Greeks and 50,000 Trojans, hence the name. But we now know from archaeological evidence, it is probably more like 10.
So Ceuta is the city that is on the immediate other side of Gibraltar. So it's on the south tip of.
But I don't remember anything about it. Like Seville, I could tell you about every sack of Seville. I could tell you about particular streets in the city. I don't know anything about Ceuta.
Fair enough.
That's why I put it that way. Because like Seville, let's be honest, even like history ignoramuses have heard of Seville at this point, because it is a common refrain from particular religious leaders in our country when they are attacking radical Islam, that the sack of Seville is a sign of why radical Islam is encroaching on our country, because when they sacked Seville, they erected mosques and temples and all of this shit to signify their dominance. And I don't think we can particularly use that reference like so many of these particular Christian leaders do. As an example of a trend, when the last time it happened was 800 fucking years ago.
So the reason I believe he's bringing up Seville and Ceuta here is just to express proximity. That he is traveling. Yeah, he's traveling beyond the Straits of Gibraltar or the Pillars of Heracles. And so because he's saying, I left behind me Seville on my right. If Seville is on your right, you're facing west, which means Ceuta would be on your left. So he's just saying he passed through the strait heading westward.
Yes, and for those of you who don't understand the significance of this, that's the open ocean. And in this time period, the open ocean is death. And I don't mean that as hyperbole. We are talking, if you went out on the open ocean and the boats that they had the technology to build at this time period, you are going to die.
Yeah. The line is literally, or the lines, where Hercules his landmarks set as signals that man no farther onward should adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So he's saying, this is the place where everyone should stop. But I'm going past it.
Yes.
Because Odysseus is fucking insane.
Yes, but also immaterial on that part. The reason I bring it up is because the interesting part is Ceuta is an extremely old city. Yet I know almost nothing about it. And it is mentioned almost nowhere in ancient text. I see it on a lot of ancient maps. And I'm just kind of interesting that he includes it here. Because it seems not anomalous, but novel. Because of how rarely it is even mentioned. When you mention the Straits of Gibraltar, you're mainly mentioning the Dark of Africa. Because remember, this is when that particular phraseology for the unknown portions of Africa come from. Well, technically 100 years earlier than this, but still, it's common use in the 1400 or 1300s. It's odd to see it here, and it makes me wonder if it's just the proximity, or if he's also trying to intimate something that he knew that I don't. And honestly, I didn't think to dig into it because I was digging into all the other shit this week, and I just forgot to look up a city name that was inconsequential in the grand scheme of things. Now, the whole point to this, though, is, as Ancom and Desperado are pointing out, you don't go here. You don't go this far. But this is a mythological hero. This is Beowulf swimming across the ocean and fighting the serpent on his way. Odysseus is the character that cannot die. And I don't mean that literally he's immortal. The whole point to Odysseus is he's a Mary Sue. And I don't say that lightly. Go back and read the Odyssey and tell me that Odysseus is not the Mary Sue of that fucking story.
Lot
he absolutely
armor.
Yeah. He can't die because if he dies, the story ends. That's literally it.
Pretty much it.
Lot armor.
Yep. And that's kind of the whole point to this is Odysseus was meant to be larger than life. Ulysses was meant to be the down to earth, pragmatic, practical king. This was the traveling hero. See why again I point out that they're so different. Like Ulysses, the king, would have never done this. It would have not have been worth the risk. To travel out into what he views as nothing but endless water. What's the point of going out there? There's nothing out there. Odysseus, on the other hand, it's all the adventure. It's all about what can I overcome? What can I do? What glory can I bring back to Ithaca?
As if, being the one who essentially won the Trojan War wasn't enough for him.
Yeah, but then there's that curse, and we don't need to go. We'll be here for another 2 hours on that tangent alone as to why he couldn't get back quickly.
And I need to go to bed.
Yes. But needless to say, there is a in context reason why Odysseus is not happy enough with being the person who basically won the Trojan War, because of how long it took him to get home and why it took him that long to get home. But the other thing I'd like to point out is this particular...
This is what happens when you piss off Poseidon.
Yes. But the other thing I'd like to point out is we made wings of our mad flight with the oars. I don't know if Dante did this intentionally, if Longfellow did it intentionally. The Latin and English are pretty close. But this is a particular phraseology that is heavily used in Greek mythology, but is not used in the Homeric text. Sorry,
I missed. What phrase are you pointing to?
Made wings of our oars, or mad wings of our oars. Yeah. It's basically a particular portion of Greek mythology to say that, oh God, what's the fucking wind god's name now? I can't remember his fucking name. I'll
Aeolus.
remember it. No, it's one of the 4 lesser wind gods, not the primary wind god. Sirocco, I think. The hot southern wind. Yeah, hot southern wind. He would push boats in the Mediterranean to shore with a hot southern wind, aka the extremely violent windstorms that come off the northern edge of the Sahara. Would push boats into to shore. So essentially what he's trying to say here is we were traveling so fast it was like the winds of the Sirocco were behind us. At least that's my reading of it, because in almost every other place in Greek mythology where this particular phrase is used, it is talking about a boat being influenced by the hot southern wind. I knew, and I think there was one other thing I wanted to mention. No, I was wishing fucking Rich was here, especially since he's out of class now and he should be able to be here. Because this last section that he's talking about, the last tercet and final line. 3 times it made her whirl with all her waters, and the 4th time it made the stern uplift, the prow downward go, as pleased another, until the sea above us closed again. I don't actually remember this section of the Iliad or the Odyssey, and I looked, I didn't find it. So I am guessing that this is a secondary intonation that I am not getting, Longfellow does not mention in his commentary, and Sayers doesn't give its origin. So I was hoping Rich would be here for it. Unfortunately, he has not gotten
so
here.
based on what I'm reading here, it sounds to me like he's referring to Charybdis.
I would
whirl with all the waters, the stern uplifted, the prow goes downward, the sea above us closed again. He got sucked into a whirlpool, which would have been in Odysseus's reckoning, Charybdis.
Yes, and Scylla and Charybdis. For those of you who don't know the history, it's a great mythology to look into. It's actually a fun read. You could be right, but this is why I want fucking the person who studied Homeric Greek here to be like, is that what we're getting with this, or is this something else that we're missing?
Yeah, fair enough.
And for those of you who don't understand why this is so different, I know Coptic Greek. I know a little bit of Koinic Greek. Homeric Greek is different. And there's different implications because of it. There's a reason we call it Homeric Greek. It is Homer is that influential over it, and therefore it helps to have somebody who actually studied it very closely at uni to make sure we're not missing something. Unfortunately,
yep.
I do not see a message from him, so I don't even think his ass woke up. Yeah, I don't even see him he's listed as yellow on Discord, but no message, and I haven't seen any activity change on the side of the friend tab in Discord either, so he's probably still asleep. But at least now I can say with beyond utter certainty, he only has to watch the second portion of it, which is only about 32 minutes so far. So when I ask him this question, it will be much easier to find. Now, that being said, with that, and before my computer decides to do something batshit again, I need to figure out what the fuck that was. We will call it here, since Despy has to go, and there's really not a whole lot more we can add. But when we start with Canto 27 next week, bring your notebooks, people. You're going to want to take extra notes rather than just watch. This is actually one you're going to want to write shit down, and hopefully we can get our friend Eucharist here for it. This is probably, at least from everything in my research before starting this apparatus, the most referenced canto in finals tests. Good luck.
وفدي سنجميات في قلبكم هيتا تمشى المغامرتي يا حريب موت إلى في أصيفنيا السماياتي هيتا حتمي الأحلام استكشاف على والملات لا تموت في قلب.
In every cell, the code of life's contained. DNA's double helix where genes are framed. Adenine with thymine forms the first base pair. Cytosine with guanine locked in structure fair. But in transcription, thymine swapped with uracil steps in when RNA's the cue. This message travels to ribosomes so proteins can be made. But mutations alter all in ways that can cascade. Point mutations cause the smallest change. A single nucleotide swapped within a range. Transition switched purine for guanine. Pyrimidine for the same. Transversion swap between them, disrupting the DNA's game. A silent mutation makes no change in sight. The codon shifts, but the protein's right. In this sense, mutations one amino's replaced. A change in structure, it's no longer graced. Nonsense mutations bring an early stop, shortening the protein, making production drop. These changes may seem minor at first glance, but in proteins, even one can ruin the dance. Insertions or deletions cause a frame shift shock. One base gone or added, throwing off the block. The reading frame gets misaligned. Codons now a jumbled sign. In larger scale, the genes may rearrange. Duplications, inversions vast and strange. Entire chromosomes can break and shift, causing syndromes where genes now freely drift. UV radiation, chemical interactions at play. Mutagens that scramble every other DNA. They break bonds, form lesions on the strand, causing errors the polymerase can't understand. But repair is nature's guiding hand. Proofreading enzymes work to mend the strand. Still some mutations slip through the gate, driving evolution's hand at predictable rate. Radiation, chemical interactions at play. Mutagens that scramble every other DNA. They break bonds, form lesions on the strand, causing errors the polymerase can't understand. But repair is nature's guiding hand. Proofreading enzymes work to mend the strand. Slip through the gate, driving evolution's hand at predictable rate. Whoa.
Yeah. If you go that, oh, don't that. Oh, don't got notice to. I noticed to. Oh, notice to.
Shadows cast by twisted vines, a garden once lush now entwined. I gave my trust a sacred sign, but they plucked the roses, left me blind. I'm a broken light on a barren shore, lost in the tempest, my light no more. They sailed away, left me to roar in the ocean of silence, forever I'll pour. A puppet on a marionette string, they danced me, made my heart sing. In their carnival they made me swing, but when the show ended they cut my string. I'm a broken light out on a barren shore, lost in the tempest, my light no more. They sailed away, left me to roar in the ocean of silence, forever I'll pour. I was a treasure chest, pile of gold. They plundered my riches, my story untold. In the moonless night, my heart grew cold, a lonelier tale in silence unsold. They took my dreams and spun them like thread. weaving tapestries where I bled. But when the loom stopped, they left me for dead. In the silken bolt of loneliness I tread. I'm a broken lighthouse on a barren shore, lost in the tempest, my light no more. They sailed away, left me to roar in the ocean of silence, forever I'll pour. Now I stand, a sentinel of despair, in solitude's kingdom I'm their heir. They took my trust, my heart laid bare. In the symphony of silence I'll find solace there.
With brains, hearts, and cosmic prayer, the ship's the primate avenger, flying everywhere. Splits on the deck with a spasm or two, and Shaolin's wisdom pulls the whole crew through. Swinging through the stars at the speed of light, Captain Simeon and his crew are ready for the fight. It's a call to arms, through galaxies far, they'll bring the charm. Gore's brute force smashes through the line, but he's got a heart that's genuinely kind. Spider's got his sights locked tight, with a trigger finger quick and a penchant for fight. Nebula lurks in the cosmic void, but Simeon's resolve just can't be destroyed. Swinging through the stars at the speed of light, Captain Simeon and his crew are ready for the fight. It's a call to arms, through galaxies far, they'll bring the charm. Yours, brute force smashes through the line. Through the dark in this dark new race, Dr. Splits might glitch, but he's never done. With science in hand, they always have fun. From nebulous traps to races to schemes, the space monkeys rise and shatter their dreams. Swinging through the stars at the speed of light, Captain Simeon and his crew are ready for the fight. There's a cosmic cheer, through galaxies far, they'll bring the charm. Wars, brutal, crew so brave, in laborious space, it's adventure they crave. With Simeon leading and the space monkeys in tow, they'll keep the universe safe from nebulous dark glow. Echoes through the stars, Captain Simeon's legacy will forever be ours.
Yo, fuck the noise, let the city lights flash where the streets hit hard and we're kicking our ass. This ain't no place for this spineless shit. We outnumbered the bastards and we're done with it.
Yo, fuck the noise, let the city lights flash when the streets hit hard and we're kicking their ass. This ain't no place for the spineless shit. We outnumber the bastards and we're done with it. The city's alive with that revolution. Fire love and ignorant fucks, hang on to the choir. Bring your open mind, let's burn the night. We'll tear down their walls while we rise to new heights. Stand alone now, we got the crew. We're union strong, yeah, we roll deep too. Fuck stabby, that rat's got no bite. While we build it up, they lose the fight. You ain't bound to the rich, now fuck that noise. We'll try them out while we make our choice. Come to the city where the streets don't sleep, where the bastards tremble and the people leap. It's the home for the bold, where we fight and win, where the biggest grow, storm within. This ain't just a city, it's class warfare incarnate. Every street corner scream, fuck the estate. No room for the sniveling bullshit lies. We'll grind them down, make them fry in their ties. We're laying bricks for grit and spit. Each block screams, you ain't stopping this shit. You think we're soft, now we strike hard, while the rich motherfuckers hide in their yard. They wave that flag, but we're tearing it down. This city ain't theirs, it's ours to crown. Come to the city where the streets don't sleep, where the bastards tremble and the people leap. It's the home for the bold, where we fight and win, where the biggest grow, storm within. Stepping on us, now we're taking the throne. They'll bleed in the tower, shit their pants in fear, while we take the city back, time's drawing near. Solidarity ain't just a buzzword, it's a goddamn life. When you cut through the system with a fucking knife, they got the rats, but we got the battalion. Class warfare's here, we'll take the stallion. While we hide behind gates, tricking off their wealth, we'll tear through the ranks. Fuck their health, you think Stabby's the worst? Nah, he's a clown. We're the ones making them shit themselves down. The city breeds revolution, cuts like you don't last, get in the way and you'll be blown to the pop. Come to the city where the streets don't sleep, where the bastards tremble and the people leave. It's the home for the bold, where we fight and win, where the biggest grow, it's on within. Yeah, come on in, baby, the city's alive, where the biggest shrivel and the streets survive. Building tall, find your pride. Come feel the power, let's turn the tide.
Yeah, sipping whiskey on a gritty city block. No time for pleasantries, we're dealing with the clock. Hold the door, but don't mistake us for a flock. In this urban jungle where the wolves do stalk. Try that near bodega, you'll learn what we know. In the city's gutters, where the tough ones go. Lend a hand, but we're ready for the throw. In our concrete jungle, it's survival we bestow. Neon lights flash, but we keep our guard. No weaklings here, it's a life that's hard. Corner store hustlers, we play our cards. In this concrete symphony, where the streets are scarred. Try that near bodega, you'll learn what we know. In the city's gutters, where the tough ones go. Lend a hand, but we're ready for the throw. In our concrete jungle, it's survival we bestow. We don't need fancy words, we speak in deeds. In our harsh reality, where the pain still feeds. Honors earned on these battlefront streets. In this urban chaos, where the city never pleads. We won't back down, we'll stand our ground. City life's a battleground, it's where we're found. In the urban tapestry, where the lost are found. Helping one another on this turf we're renowned. Try that near bodega, you'll learn what we know. In the city's gutters, where the tough ones go. Lend a hand, but we're ready for the throw. In our concrete jungle, it's survival we bestow. So forget the stereotypes, we've got our own great race. In this gritty rhythm, we survive in our own space. Near a bodega, there's a battle to embrace. In the spirit of the city, we keep up the pace. Try that near a bodega.